We have all seen it happen. A highly respected leader, a brilliant professional, or a close friend suddenly torpedoing their life through seemingly unforced errors. From the outside, these collapses look like spontaneous tragedies. We tend to write them off as a stroke of terrible luck or a momentary lapse in judgment. But look closer, and you will find they follow a predictable pattern. Over 2,000 years ago, an advisor from the Mahabharata named Mahatma Vidur studied this phenomenon. He identified human destruction as a rigid, sequential formula. We call this sequence the Vidur Code. It mirrors modern findings on emotional regulation, the psychological ability to manage one's responses to stress, showing how small, early compromises reliably snowball into catastrophe. By tracing this chronological chain reaction, we can identify 6 specific pillars of self-sabotage. Once you know what to look for, you can spot the fractures in your own life and stop a collapse long before it occurs. This temple of 6 pristine pillars represents a stable life. Catastrophic downfalls begin quietly, with invisible internal rot. Decay starts with excessive pride, blocking self-reflection. This unchecked ego then incubates the second pillar, greed. Believing they're infallible, their appetite for power grows without restraint. Chasing this ambition leads to severe stress and burnout. To maintain an impossible pace, individuals begin making their very first ethical compromises, trading long-term integrity for immediate gains. This internal decay compromises their psychological foundation. Because the damage is hidden from the public, they become blind to their changing reality, leaving them vulnerable to the next phase of failure. As the internal mindset rots, the damage spills over into external relationships. A fragile, greed-driven ego requires constant protection from objective, uncomfortable truths. Notice how the central node actively cuts ties with established nodes. This is the third pillar, ignoring wise counsel. Needing a replacement triggers the fourth pillar, favoring friends over justice. The node surrounds itself with agreeable allies, creating a closed loop of validation. Prioritizing personal loyalty over fairness destroys credibility. It breeds resentment within teams and strips away the moral authority required to hold an organization or community together. Constructing this echo chamber guarantees the final outcome. When a genuine crisis hits, the individual faces it completely isolated, stripped of the objective truth needed to survive. The downfall now enters its final stage. The comfortable illusion of the echo chamber violently collides with the demands of the real world. This brings us to the fifth pillar, neglecting duty. Disconnected from reality, the individual begins failing their basic personal and professional responsibilities, letting critical obligations slip away. This continuous neglect burns through whatever goodwill they had left. Peers lose trust, deadlines are repeatedly missed, and external pressure mounts to a breaking point. As that pressure peaks and all trust vanishes, emotional regulation fails completely. This is the sixth pillar, acting out of anger. Impulsive, rage-driven reactions cloud judgment heavily. In this frantic, panicked state, the individual makes the rash, irreversible decision that finally breaks their career or personal life. That final explosion of anger is never an isolated incident. It is the inevitable final domino in a predictable chain reaction of unforced errors. The Vidur Code provides a diagnostic tool for reverse engineering failure. This ancient framework mirrors findings in contemporary leadership studies. Research into organizational accountability confirms that self-control and ethical integrity are the measurable, concrete bedrocks of long-term stability. Watch this animated model reverse the damage. A stable structure replaces the 6 destructive pillars with their exact opposites, trading ego and greed for humility, duty, fairness, active listening, and calmness. Systematically applying these constructive traits interrupts the cycle of self-sabotage. It repairs trust, protects your reputation, and secures your inner peace against external pressures. You do not have to wait for the cracks to show. By using this ancient psychological roadmap, you can navigate modern challenges, make wiser decisions, and build lasting success.